Omar Ruiz with the Chargers.
One of the keys to this matchup, the performance of Melvin Gordon. He didn't practice Wednesday, was limited Thursday, and then full go on Friday. When I spoke to him this week, he told me he was feeling like $1 million, and he'll come into Foxborough with a bunch of confidence after his 14-carry, 132-yard performance last season, which included an 87-yard touchdown. He'll also want to show out in front of James White, teammates at Wisconsin for 3 years, someone he considers a big brother. They spent all offseason together a year ago in Fort Lauderdale. And that's not the only close friendship matchup in this game. For more on that, let's send it over to Mike Giardi.
Omar, plenty of deep ties in this game, including two of the best players we'll see on the field on Sunday. All-pro cornerback Stephon Gilmore and the Chargers' Melvin Ingram were college roommates at the University of South Carolina. Asked Gilmore a little bit about that relationship, and he said, well, we lived in a quad, and it was very, very messy. And he noted that Ingram had dogs, bulldogs, he said. And he said, I don't want to say I wasn't a dog person, but they didn't exactly help keep things clean. He said it's great to see Ingram have success. He just hopes that that success doesn't come at the Patriots' hands on Sunday. Colleen, back to you.
Something to watch in Foxborough. There's a ton of great quarterback matchups this week. Yes, I mean, there should be. Obviously, it's divisional weekend. But let's look ahead to the Super Bowl. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Go with Patrick Mahomes and Nick Foles. Patrick Mahomes against Nick Foles. You got the best regular season quarterback against the best playoff quarterback going up against each other. Patrick Mahomes, explosive guy throwing the ball down the football field, leads the NFL with 75 explosive completions. You know all of that. But Nick Foles, man, this guy's just wired for high pressure moments. And I like the decision makers in Philly. They're going to have some issues on their hands if this actual matchup does happen, because it'll be the second year in a row that Nick Foles has led the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mike Rob, if Andy Reid beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia in on itself.
It would erupt.
So that would be a wrap for Philly. That would be it. What do you
Just a big hole.
Yeah. If we're talking about a dream matchup, I would love to see Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. But we can't do that. But it's a dream, right? So, like, if this was a dream, it would be pretty awesome.
You saying one of them won't be there on a trade and it could happen?
Yeah. What do you think?
So, for me, I went in there and I was just thinking about, what would be awesome. It's right. How about Phillip Rivers versus Drew Brees? Take you back. Drew Brees got to New Orleans Saints because of...
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Phillip Rivers. They handed off this team to Phillip Rivers. They did not re-sign him because they turned it over to Phillip Rivers. How about...
I like it. And he was hurt, too.
All of that. But that injury would have healed, right? So now the question is, does Drew Brees get his second against Phillip Rivers, and Phillip Rivers never gets one? Hall of Fame versus quote-unquote potential Hall of Fame.
I see you stirring the pot.
I like it. Storyline. It's a good storyline. Something we'll be sick of by it. Yeah, every year you get
if it happens.
Yeah.
Potential quote-unquote Hall of Fame? So do you...
Drew Brees, potential Hall of Famer with Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
Potential. Some people are saying he is, but here's my question. Hall of Famers generally they don't get in the big games and throw the ball away. That's not a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
They shouldn't be a Hall of Famer?
No, Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer.
All right. To me, a couple years ago, our GMFB cousin Peter Schrager and I, we were sitting next to each other. The game's about to kick off in Arizona, and the flashbulbs are popping. He leans over and he goes, Mike, I love the Super Bowl. And I said, yeah, I know, Peter, it's a big game. He said, I love the Super Bowl. I said, okay, all right, that's what I want to see right before kickoff. Emotion, it's a big game. It's something you should be excited for. So give me Phillip Rivers, I'm sticking with you, and give me Dak Prescott. You ever see Dak Prescott's emotions? I mean, I want to see fist pumping and all this stuff, and I want to see Rivers. I want one camera devoted to Rivers the entire game. Maybe you can log on the NFL app and you get the Rivers cam and just see this. Because, he gets up, he gets that first down, he gives you the shoulder shake and the pause. First down, right there. Give me that. Do we have that video? I wanted that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's dope.
Wind that clock, baby.
But what about the Cowboys franchise quarterback?
Who?
Ezekiel Elliott.
That guy? I didn't call him that.
He's going to eat.
That guy over there called him the franchise
Nick
quarterback.
Foles and Andrew Luck would also be a pretty good one, too.
That would be.
And throw that in the ring, too. Okay. That other LA team ready to host the Cowboys tonight. We live for games like this. How the Rams plan to attack that Dallas defense coming up Plus, the Saints embarrassed the Eagles just a couple months ago. Why this time around could be a totally different story. And listen, you're really going to enjoy what we have coming up next. I guarantee it.
I guarantee
I guarantee it.
Is it some kind of anniversary?
Our guarantees are coming up.